Welcome to another OCD Recovery Instagram Live. I'm going to be talking a bit about the post that I put yesterday that was saying that you've got to be careful of the phrase which says, where we say to ourselves, this is just an OCD thought. This isn't me, it's OCD. The problem with that is that it very, very quickly becomes compulsive. It's the same. What people are doing there is they're trying to make sure that they can create some separation between the thing they're scared of and them. Now, the problem with that is, one, you can get into situations where real events do happen, not to the scale of someone being killed usually, but so we need to work on a deeper level of acceptance so people have tools to deal with those situations. That's one of the most important things. And two, because it just becomes so damn compulsive. You're just going, it's not me, it's not my OCD, over and over and over. It's good having some insight into that, but after that, it's just compulsive. And you see it all the time. When I talk to some new people that have just been taught that alone, they sort of have got comfort at some point for that before the OCDs morph. They're almost holding that up like a force field, except that shield against OCD is very weak. It can just find a way around that in 2 seconds and convince somebody that it is real. So that doesn't ever work foolproof. That's why we always go towards unconditional self-acceptance in relation to guilt and harm OCD, POCD, all those kind of things, because it's gonna always try and find a way around that. It's always gonna be trying to say, this time was different, this time was real, this time there was no anxiety, that was my real intentions. Find a thing in the past from 20 years ago or 10 years ago where you can't remember how you were feeling at that time, and did you think this, did you feel that, did you have this intrusive thought, and so on. So it's not me, it's OCD is an important part of just getting an understanding, but it is not foolproof. It doesn't fully get under there. Unconditional self-acceptance, as laid out by the founder of CBT, Albert Ellis, does do that. What it means is it's not agreement. It doesn't mean that we're saying that we agree with an act. We can see an act is wrong. We can see that we do not like that wrong act. But we also see that the human has value and is completely intact regardless of how they've behaved. Humans don't lose value based on what they've done. All humans are absolutely equal on that, because we can't detract a human's value, because a human's value is just being alive on this planet, a sort of a collection of cells living and breathing on this planet. It's doing its function, just being a human being, in the name being, not doing. So we can't rate humans, because the self is a highly complicated, ever-changing process which isn't rateable. You can't really rate a process that's always changing, and there's so many things that affect that based on genetics and environment, upbringing. So you can't do that, but humans do. We tend to put ourselves in boxes of saying, oh, he's good, bad, a good person, a bad person, as we've learned from Disneyland films and so on. But this is not the way to go about it. This is a nice simplistic version that obviously OCD loves to grip onto and go, you're a bad person, you're a terrible person. But in reality, it's not like that at all. It's much more complicated than that. So learning about unconditional self-acceptance is absolutely vital when it comes to OCD recovery. You don't need to have it fully understood and fully accepted often. I felt I had to do it a lot more, and so has many of the people that I've worked with, because it wouldn't release. Some people yes, some people no. For me, it wouldn't release on that. I would constantly feel guilty, like I'd done something terrible, or was going to, or was currently thinking that, so was bad or whatever for those reasons. So until I broke that down, it didn't release. It just kept locked in there, kept fused. I'd been to countless therapists. I had spent ages online reading every single book on OCD. I decided to make it my life's work on studying, and reading, researching OCD, and getting myself better. And through that long process of going right back to the sort of the drawing board of looking at the foundations of CBT as laid out by Albert Ellis, I could really see that unconditional self-acceptance was exactly what would unhook me from that tight fusion I felt with OCD. So when I went through that, that over time, I could clearly then see and feel and deeply believe that even if I had done a wrong act, I was still at peace with me, the human being. And that just created that peace where, so now I don't ever get a harm thought. Even I used to have them 24 hours a day, every second, every minute, all versions. And they don't come in because they know they can't get me, because I don't believe it, and I don't really get re-triggered by it, because I just, with that unconditional self-acceptance, it provides a framework that doesn't allow OCD to operate in there. With that harm OCD, it just can't get a hook. So that's what took practice, and it's something that, you know, has been laid out. We can see it through Greek and Roman philosophy, through Stoicism. We can see it all through all the quotes, you know, that I often post on my page, talking about, say, for example, with William Shakespeare, good and bad is only thinking makes it so, it's not written in stone. That kind of stuff, you start to come to see that everything's our perspective. Good, bad is just completely a perspective. What's good today is bad in the past, good today, and vice versa. So you'll see these things are all changing, and these are all perceptions, and that's what we're working to change, which is a vital part of OCD recovery. I'll go into that in a lot more detail. I did a video yesterday on Instagram. If you have a look, and on my YouTube channel, it talks about good and bad and human beings and how they rate themselves. But I will be covering a lot more on this topic on here. So keep checking on the YouTube channel for the new videos. That not keep checking as in compulsively, but just keep an eye out for the new ones. I'm putting some new, a lot of new material together in relation to self-acceptance, and specifically in relation to harm OCD. Guys, great to have you all on here. I'll be answering specific questions and answers in another Instagram live. I try and separate them, so I do one on topic and one on question and answers, and I will see you on there. See you guys.